It is the Hot Hits. It is Nick and Lauren. Jacob Collier is in the building.
What's up? Hi. Hello, everybody.
So exciting, man. Well,
For me too.
I'm really glad. Welcome back to Australia.
Thanks for having
When
me.
was the last time you were here?
I was last here in 2022,
Wow.
which feels like a long time ago, but we're back.
Yeah. So you have been, because a lot of artists say, oh, I haven't been here since like pre-COVID, but you've been here since the
I
dreaded.
was here pre-COVID and I was here post as well. And there's always something special about coming to Australia. I don't know what it is. It's something in the air.
How early into your career did Australia start to embrace you?
Feature. Well, I came here for the first time in 2018. And it was just unforgettable. I remember I played a little venue in Sydney called the Metro,
Ah, yes.
which is just it was a raucous event. I had such a fun time, and I just sort of caught the bug, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sweaty room, that one, the Metro.
Oh, it was outrageous.
Yeah, it brings people together. It's kind of the best venue to go to because it doesn't matter where you stand, you get a really good vantage point at that
Totally.
stage.
Yeah,
And you can actually connect with
That's the
people.
impression I got because I could see everyone from stage.
Yeah.
It was really, really fun.
You are here, of course, to announce these tour dates. You're going to be playing in some beautiful rooms.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Fortitude Music Hall in Brisbane, ICC in Sydney,
Yeah.
and Margaret Court Arena in Melbourne. What does a room mean to you as an artist? Like, what are your favourite kind of rooms to perform in?
That's such a nice question. Well, so I'm unconventional in a number of ways, but one of them is that I really, really like to use my audience as part of the band. So they become like a foundational part of the adventure. So in a sense, the room is like my main canvas, like my primary resource.
Yeah.
And rooms like these are just, they give me goosebumps to think about them. You know, like a room like that filled with, say, 10,000 singers. It's just, it's a crazy, crazy vibe. And I've always wanted to do these kinds of venues in Australia. And I'm just so excited to be able to do so.
Oh, it's so exciting.
It's so sick. What I'm really excited about, because I feel like every YouTube video I watch of your live performances, it feels like something new happens at each show. And they're not these like, you know, you'll go to gigs and there'll be great gigs, but there'll be the same gig kind of night after night. With yours, it feels like this living, breathing, constantly evolving thing.
Oh,
With
yeah.
with this new tour, how much more is it evolving from where it's been in the past?
I think of tours like operating systems. You know, you sort of run the latest operating system as you go through, and you're constantly making little refinements. But you know, I think for me, there's something about, you know, having a group of people on stage who are such close friends, interacting with this room that has never assembled before, will never assemble again. And just for that, those couple of hours, you have this moment of magic. But I deliberately sort of ordain a live show environment for my own sake, as much as everybody else's sake, to never be the same twice.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a jazzer in that way. I'm naturally very much an improviser. So if I'm told to do the same thing twice, I tend to sort of dry up like a little flower. And I really like the challenge of a show that can scale on to the proportions that these kinds of pop acts can scale to, like, you know, big festival stages and things, but also maintain a sense of wiggledom.
Yeah.
Wiggledom's a great
Wiggledom.
word.
I love that. That's like our show, Nick. We always maintain a sense of wiggledom.
Wiggledom.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's rule number 16 of the show.
it really
We've been
is.
coming up with a new rule every night
Every
for the show.
night.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, last night it was
Big titty baddies, no a big titty baddie.
That's rule number
That's-
15.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
I also endorse this rule.
Yeah. Has there ever been a moment in a show where you've gone, oh, we'll never get better than that moment in that? Like, for that piece itself, do you ever go, it'll never be topped, only for it to be topped, like, a week later?
Sometimes,
sort of-
yeah. Actually, you know what, it happens a lot. The last time I was in Sydney, I played at the Enmore Theatre. I did 2 shows, and the first night I thought I couldn't top.
Yeah.
And then the second night happened.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That second night energy.
It's absolutely,
That's the thing. First was just a rehearsal.
Yeah.
absolutely right. And the second night, Natalie Imbruglia came on stage, and she sang. She sang Torn, but there were no instruments. It was just the audience as the instruments. So the audience sang in 3-part harmony, and I was pointing up and down to get them to sing, and then she came out and sang the song. It was a really unforgettable moment.
Do you ever hear one shit person in your crowd?
Yeah,
Do you ever just focus in on them for a second and go, please be just a little bit
Like-
more on tune?
Yeah,
You just clap.
yeah, you're right. You know what? It's funny. Some people just like to show off. You know, so you have you know, usually one person in the front row on the balcony. "Ah!" You know, you think,
Yeah.
oh, okay, you know. But there is this like magical thing that happens in big groups where people tend to average it themselves out.
Yeah.
So unless you're really disruptive, things normally don't tend to go too pear-shaped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can we expect from these shows? Like, is there anything unique that's happening with these upcoming shows in December? What can we get?
Well, so this is, it's in some ways the most ambitious show I've ever put on, in the sense that the amount of music I'm trying to represent is so broad. You know, there's literally moments in the show where it's like a massive dance party, where it's like a crazy rock concert, where it's a where it's like wide open avant-garde improvisation, where it's like a choral singing experience, where it's folky, and there's like moments, there's like K-pop moments, we sing in Korean, we sing in Spanish,
Wow.
there's reggaeton moments. It's really, really broad. So I've never tried to do something so ambitious as this on a stage, but I am surrounded by this amazing crew and an amazing band, and I think the thing about these venues as well is just as you were saying, the venue itself becomes part of the of the music once the whole audience starts to sing.
Yeah.
For someone with such a wide array of influence and, and what you're putting into this show from a genre perspective, I wanted to still at this very moment in June 2025, what are you listening to? On the plane, walking around, what's in your ears at the moment?
Just so much variety.
I can tell.
It's such a cool time to be a music lover. There is so much music to love.
Yeah.
And increasingly, my favorite creators are embracing really diverse kind of sources of inspiration and then interpreting them on their own terms in the most amazing way. So, for me, like today, I was listening to some like Cameroonian music, which is just like crazy hype. A lot of fast moving, just crazy energy stuff. And I was also listening to some choral music and all sorts of, I've been really obsessed with Adrienne Lenker. I don't know if you know who she is. She's an amazing songwriter, musician, and also really into McGee, who I'm sure a lot of people who are listening to this will agree is just a very, very gifted, very magical human. So always try to keep my ear to the ground. And traveling is actually a great time to listen because you have these long plane journeys or long bus journeys and you get to really zone in on something that feels good, and that's always a nice feeling.
Totally. I can't listen to music on planes though, because it reminds me when you finish, say, a 4-minute pop song, that you have about 25,000 more of those pop songs to go until you're at your destination.
Especially if you're flying to London. From
Exactly.
Sydney.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where I absolutely can't listen to music.
It's too much. Yeah.
Only the music they play like as you're like getting onto the plane and then disembarking.
Yeah.
They play like the music of the area.
You guys don't do the whole thing where you're pretending you're like in a rom-com and you're sitting on the plane like looking out the window. You do that.
Oh,
don't you?
I have moments like that
Thank
for sure.
God. Thank God.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
God.
Once
Okay.
or twice. I actually, thinking about it, I do actually have a song I listen to when I land in Sydney from an international trip. It's a song called Home by a group called Horror Show.
Ooh, nice.
From Australia. They're from Australia.
Oh,
it's
great.
written about Sydney, and it really it paints all these different kind of places within Sydney.
That's a special one.
And you can kind of see them as you're coming
Oh,
down.
that's
I put
lovely.
that on at the right time. every time.
Brilliant.
I think everyone's got to find a song like that.
If I'm landing in Melbourne, I'm listening to Melbourne Sound.
That's
Oh,
it.
there you go.
Melbourne Sound.
Which is just like
Just like-
Has to be
uncy
done.
140 BPM house music,
Yeah, yeah,
basically. I got to ask you, because I'm looking at this list of collaborators that's on this sheet in front of me, and it's just, it reminds you of the impact that you've had on so many people over so long. I mean, Coldplay, SZA, Shawn Mendes, John Mayer, Stormzy, Kirk Franklin, Tori Kelly, Hans Zimmer, Quincy Jones, Joni Mitchell, etc.,
Joni
etc.
Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
Is there one that, when I say what was the one that felt the most meaningful to you, is there one?
I mean, you say Joni. I mean, I never thought I'd have that opportunity to do that.
Is that surreal? I
so
mean,
surreal.
yeah.
I grew up listening to all those records religiously. It's to such a degree of love and adoration. And about 6 or 7 years ago, Joni had this brain aneurysm and she couldn't speak and she couldn't walk, and she meticulously kind of has gathered her strength back and just did these 2 amazing gigs at the Hollywood Bowl in California and blew everybody's mind. And she's 80 now and she sings a song like Both Sides now, and it's like she wrote it when she was 24, almost like for her 80-year-old self to sing. It literally feels like that. It's
unbelievable.
so cool. What a privilege.
And praise the music gods. It's all back on Spotify now too. All of her music.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
it wasn't.
Exactly.
It wasn't.
It
And
wasn't
I
for
was
a
like,
second.
this is a travesty.
It was
Finally, we
that
can
was
yearn.
Yeah.
a tough moment for all of us,
really
I think.
was.
It's been, I really love, there'll be this occasional video. I remember there was a video a little while ago. It was Elton, Chapel Roan, Joni,
Yeah.
Lucy Dacus, and a few other people just in this backstage
Yeah,
room.
I was
all
in that
sing-
room actually.
Oh, were you in
Yeah,
that room?
I was in the
No
room.
way.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
That's phenomenal.
I remember that moment.
That's
very
one of my favorite
vividly.
videos in the world.
It's very special. Yeah, that was right
Wow.
before we went on stage for the second night of those 2 Hollywood Bowl
That
shows.
was those shows.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
actually see you in that video now. 'cause
Yeah,
I feel
yeah, yeah. I
embarrassed.
don't know if I'm in the video. I think maybe I was just hiding,
Just-
hiding
Is
in the
that
back.
right?
but
Making
yeah.
a cup of tea in the corner somewhere. Oh,
Which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
even
exactly,
more beautiful,
exactly.
though, that you got to, I look at that as a piece of content, but you were in the room.
It's a
for
moment in
that.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will never be recreated.
It's just amazing.
Music's a beautiful thing, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you for bringing it to us.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time today. We really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
The
Yeah.
shows are 9th of December, the Fortitude Music Hall in Brisbane, 11th of December, my sister's birthday at the
There
ICC
you
Sydney
go.
Theatre in Sydney.
Bring her along.
30th of December, MCA in Melbourne. Please thank Jacob Collier.
Hey, thanks everybody.
So
Thank you, my
good.
friend.